Previously, I made an LED timing system. In this video, I want to talk about how I'm upgrading it to version 2.0. One of the first improvements is getting these wires out of the way. These wires are kind of messy and they're a hassle. So I'm going to look into how to make them wireless. Another improvement, just try to make this look a little better. Look at a 3D printed housing for some of these things. And the third thing to improve is the range. 2.6 meters isn't very far for racing those cars. So I want to get a longer racetrack so we can get some more speed and see just how far we can do that with a wireless system. Let's go over some of the hardware needed for this project. I will plan to reuse the infrared LED and infrared receiver from the previous build, and also reuse this 9-volt battery to power it. For a little more convenience, we'll add a power switch, a toggle switch to this 9-volt battery so I don't have to unplug this connector here every time. Then to make this wireless, plan to be using a nRF24L01 wireless module. It's a pretty small little chip that's going to allow us to send wireless signals back and forth. And to add this wireless module to this unit here, going to need a Arduino board. So I chose to use the Arduino Nano for this. It's quite a bit smaller than the Arduino Uno I used before, and quite a bit cheaper. So that's a huge win-win there. With all that hardware, I'm going to need the same hardware for the start line and the finish line. Now, after a lot of soldering and an effectively used up soldering iron, I've completed these two boards. Got components mounted on the back or the front side here. You can see I have two Arduino Nanos to control them, two wireless chips that will be able to send signals back and forth wirelessly to these boards, and then again the two IR receivers that have the IR LED for the start and finish line that will send to this receiver. And on this board here, I've added an LCD screen, which will display the times for the start line, and they'll be powered by 9-volt batteries. So it should be the bare minimum I need to start doing some testing and see how it works. Let's talk about the elephant in the room here. These boards are the same, except this one has added a LCD screen and potentiometer, and there's just way too many wires for this. So my friend has recommended, instead of using the standard 1602 LCD board, they make a 1602 LCD board that has a GC board added on here to convert it to I2C protocol. And what this does, one thing, it has the potentiometer built right in here to control the screen brightness. And the big benefit, it only takes 4 wires to control this. Ground, VCC, SDA, which is serial data line, and SCL, which is serial clock line. So from 12 wires to 4 wires, it's going to be a huge improvement. And to replace all those jumper wires, I soldered on 4 wires in this connector for the LCD screen to hook up. All right, have quite a few new 3D printed parts here. Have on this finish line part of the racetrack here, we have the light bar. This will hold the infrared LED. And then to pair with that, we'll have the box that will have the infrared sensor. And I put a toggle switch on here so you can easily turn it on and off. Also added a hole here for programming. If I want to program the Arduino Nano, can do that through this port. And then all the electronics will be slid in the back here. There'll be a PCB that slides into these slots. And then once that's all in there, there's a nice cover to hide up the messy wires and things, and that will mount right here. For the start line, we have the same sort of setup, except this one has a cutout for an LCD screen here. Again, the LCD and the PCB will slide in there. And then we'll have a cover that slides on the back, make that nice and clean. And this will also have the light bar. I put different settings for the LED height. I don't know that I will use them, but for now they're there. And then again, the same type of cover that can slide in and make that neat looking. Finally made a breakthrough. You can see here, this is the finish line. There is the LCD screen. No wires connecting, but it can sense my hand wirelessly. This is a huge win. So the racetrack is set up, but right now all my cars are broken. So we're gonna have a different idea to test the racetrack. Link. Link. Link, Link, here. Oh, it's a perfect throw. Okay, Link. Oh, it worked. Wow. Link. Oh, yeah.